All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have our holiday party for our members, and a lot of you guys are going to be watching this on replay. I'm sure I've got tons of people interested in what the heck the plant card is. And I don't know if people saw my email reminder I sent out at the very end, but I was like, is it a tarot card? Tarot card reading? I don't know. Let's find out. So with no further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Robin. Happy food chef Robin Rigsby, and you are going to take us through an experience that we have never had before, so I cannot wait. Here we go.
Okay. Well, it's great to be back with you guys. This is so much fun, and this is a whole other area, and I'll give you some history first. And I only have the mini deck because I just recently moved from Florida to Colorado temporarily. So I have a travel deck, and this is what the deck looks like. And it's actually food. Can you see this? And then the cards. And then the cards are food. So it's all different foods. It is a vegan deck. And gluten-free. This was developed, and it is a tarot deck, but it's not like a traditional tarot deck. So in the traditional tarot decks, there are some cards that are a little darker, and it's a different kind of reading, but it is classified as a tarot deck, and they call it the Food Healing Oracle deck. And so each card is a food, and attached to each food, and this is the women that developed this, they didn't do this just arbitrarily. This is actually based on a lot of science about each individual food. It's based on one of the women, I think one of them is actually, she's a nutritionist, food. She got her degree in food. So there's a lot of knowledge behind this. So it's not just fluff in the air. We're able to do different readings with this deck. And this is entertainment, but yet we call it entertainment. But really, when you start to see and work with the deck, it's actually pretty enlightening and amazing what the deck will say about what's going on in your life in relation to food, from different aspects, from the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual aspects. We sometimes talk about chakras, we talk about all different things. So that's really, so what I thought we would do tonight, because we can do group readings, and because this is such a small group, I'm also happy to, I think what we'll do is a basic, because there are different pulls, we call them card pulls. So you can pull just one card. You can pull two cards, if you have a question that you want to ask. And the questions vary depending on what you would like. Some, what does the deck say about this? What do the foods say about this particular area? So the spread that I wanted to do for the group was what we call a 4-card spread. And we pull 4 cards, and they talk about, the first card will deal with the emotional level of the food, mental, physical, and spiritual. So, and then if we, depending on how the time goes and questions, we can even do a 1-card pull for each of you. Since there's such a small group, I'd be happy to do that. Generally, when we do a group reading, it's a general reading for the whole group. And the premise of and I was just listening to, I was telling Christy, listening to an amazing podcast. I haven't finished it, and I will pass it on to you guys because I think there's going to be some very pertinent information that you'll enjoy. And it's basically doctors, scientists that, we are truly at a critical time of understanding this world of traditional science that we've had is changing so fast because of our technologies and our abilities to measure things. Let's say we can measure the electricity of whatever, the energy, the electrical current of the mitochondria in the body, right? And so we know certain things, that the energy, the electrical energy output of the mitochondria in someone who has cancer is X, Y, and Z, and they can read it. And then and it's really going to, I believe, in the future, it's all going to change in terms of how we deal with disease. We are not going to be dealing with it with, let's say, cancer as a particular thing. Instead of the way that we approach it, which is attacking it, killing it, it's not. It's basically saying, okay, your mitochondria reading, this is down here, and that's why the mitochondria, which normally would look a certain way, in someone who has illness, it has changed. And they can measure it, they can see it, and they say, okay, now we can bring you back to health. We don't want to kill anything. What we want to do is return the body to its natural healing ability by the things that we choose to do, lifestyle changes, what we eat, our physical activity, all kinds of things, reducing our toxic levels, our stress levels, all of those different factors. And we can actually raise the electrical current in the mitochondria, and then you don't have disease. So everything's changing right now. Our understanding in the science is all changing. And that's one of the reasons that, and I've known this for a long time, that we can't get too hung up at the moment on focusing on the health. We have to focus on, okay, what are the things that we can do to aid our health? And that's why what Planted Places, at least to me, why this is so important, because there is a direct relationship between the energy and the nuclear energy that's happening in the sun. It comes to us, it comes to the plant sources. We put our loving, if we put our loving, and this can be measured now, we put our loving energy and our vibration is at a certain level. It goes into the food that we're growing. We then consume the food, and there's this synergy that's going back and forth between the plant and us, outside and inside. And I think that when you start to grow your food, you're going to see it. You're going to see how, and I've had so much, I mean, I'm sure Christy has had tons of this going on, where she can see that those plants are affected by her energy, and the love that she has for it.
Robin, and can I super really quick interject?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I love what you're saying, and I just need to say what is interesting, and this goes hand in hand how we talk to our customers about. This is about creating a habit, healthy habits, and gardening habits. And we've even kind of created some fun design elements around a cup of coffee and a plant, which is kind of like, make this part of your ritual, your daily ritual, where you go out and you're just checking on your plants, and you're just kind of, it's such an important thing anyways in everybody's life to have some rituals. And I have noticed when I've started doing that, my plants are super healthy, and it's interesting because I'm just kind of hearing what you're saying, and I'm like, wow, like I'm actually giving them attention. I'm kind of giving them this energy. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's like, it's actually working. I just want
to.
Yeah.
This is all what the new science is now proving out. And so, you get into this esoteric world that you can't avoid. So it's really, we're heading into a time where you're going to see a synthesis of the science meeting the spiritual world, and things that people who have been in the alternate whether it's healing, whatever it is. It's that unseen world that we're just starting to have a clue about, that, there is. I mean, even though I can't see a matrix, I can't see an energy field with my eyes, but yet we clearly now are learning about how to interact with it, the importance of it, the fact that it is there and it does affect us and we affect it. And so it's not just it's not just food, it's not just this, it's not that, and we're just beginning to get a glimpse and understanding. And that's one of the reasons that I made my focus so much about, okay, look, here's the deal. Let's not talk about the health of it. We know plants were given, it's a gift that was given to us by whoever created us to help sustain us. And so, how are we going to make it taste good? That's been my driving force, because if we are just on the precipice of understanding how this all works and how energy works and the electrical field, and how our energy field, how far is my energy field extending out there? How much do I impact with my thoughts, with my feelings, with all this? We know that it does. So you can't help ignore that. And that's one of the reasons that I love the cards, because the two women that developed this deck, and this is brand new. I'm actually the fourth person certified in the world to do readings with this card deck. And we went through some pretty extensive training. A lot of the food science is based on this man, Jeff Primick, and his knowledge of food, especially in the plant world. So anyway, it's just a fun thing. And my experience with doing readings for people is that it actually, it's just been a very fun vehicle through which people then get to look at different aspects of, these cards are pulled, okay? People will say, oh my God, that's like so perfect for what's going on in my life. Well, I don't know what's going on in your life, but this is what the cards tell me. And I sort of clear, from a very young age, I come from a family of my father was very psychic, so was my mother. And I think I inherited a little bit of that for sure. So I do get hits on what these cards say, and it just seems to be a really fun thing for people to experience. So what I'd like to do as a group is to first, because one of the things is, I do consider this very sacred work. It's, I don't take anything for granted. And so basically, I just want everybody to take a nice deep breath and just get yourself really centered. And my prayer is that, we just have a lot of fun with this. We open ourselves up to whatever truths may come forth that resonate or don't resonate with you. And it's all for the good. So this particular deck, there are no negative cards. This is all positive. The only thing that you might say that happens once in a while, if I pull a card and let's say it's asparagus and someone says, oh, I can't eat those for the life of me. Well, sometimes there's little reasons why certain things might not work for a certain person, and they become clearer when the cards are pulled and we read about. This deck comes with a book that when the cards are pulled, and I will read from the book, and then I will do my own interpretation of what I see that the cards say. So the 4-card pull that we're going to do, I think what I'd love to do is to say, okay, unless Christy, if you have a question that you'd like to ask the cards, and I'll give you an idea of what that might be like. So a Ford card, it's called the Ford card craving. And it's designed to see where your 4 bodies are in real time. you can ask the cards what you need to know for a particular question or for the highest good. So an example would be, what is the energy around my career change emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually? So we could say, okay, well, what is the energy around all of us growing food and planted places? How does that sound? Yeah, good. Okay, so let's do that. And what do we see? You know, what do the cards tell us about? Because really, it's almost like you're starting a little movement. And I know we're in baby stages right now, but let's see what the cards say about where we're going and what could grow out of this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pull 4 cards. And again, this is only for the highest good. All right, so, and I will show you all 4 cards. And if you were here in person, I'd have you pull the cards. So it's fun. All right, so we have 4 cards. All right. Oh, wow, this is great. Okay. So the first card, and so the first card is going to be on the emotional level. Okay, of where we all are with our planted places, and this is a beautiful card. This is chocolate. Chocolate, and the word that's attached to it is indulgence. Okay, so that's the first card, and we'll go one at a time. And then we also are going to see the interrelationship between the 4 cards and what I see through that. Okay, so I'm going to first read from you what it says about chocolate. And I think it's so appropriate, especially in light of what we were talking about. I don't know how many of you, and Christy and I were just talking. I'm going to assume that everybody knows nothing, including myself. Okay. And so what I'm going to say is in the past year, I was given a book that was actually, the entire book was on chocolate. And chocolate is like one of the most amazing, cacao is just one of the most amazing plants on the planet for healing. It's just mind-boggling and so here's what happened with me with chocolate. There's a company that makes, it's called Sacred Chocolate, and it's very pure. So it's unprocessed. It is raw cacao, not roasted. It's as pure as you can get. It's the one I take is 83%. And a friend of mine who's a practitioner, her husband's an acupuncturist, and I was telling her that I was staying in a house with this cat, and I was having problems with allergies because I'm very allergic to cats. So she suggested that I try chocolate. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, I mean, I have really severe allergies to cat. Anyway, I bought some. I figured, what the hell? I'd rather do that than take medicine. I can't even begin to tell you, a day and a half later, from that on, I've had no issues with cats. And I was taking this chocolate, they're tiny little hearts, 83% raw cacao. My allergies were gone. And so she gave me this book to read on chocolate, a whole book, and it blew my mind when I saw what chocolate deals with. So I think it's very apropos that we pulled this card because this is a very powerful substance. And I love it because it's indulgence, which I think is perfect for our Christmas party because you know what? You guys have been, especially planted places, ladies, you've been working so hard, I know, on this, that this card's like, okay, it's a little time out. Your holidays are here. You just launched your second launch. And I think you all should have a little time out and have some chocolate and indulgence. And I think that in lieu of that, maybe the next class that we'll do, I have a recipe that I developed that is the most amazing raw cacao energy bar. And it is just loaded with all kinds of goodies. And maybe we'll make that together. Okay, so now I'm going to read to you about what the card says about this. Now, this is on the emotional level for this reading, okay? When is the last time you gave yourself permission to be a little self-indulgent? If you're having trouble remembering, then it's time to indulge. Right here, right now. You are destined to have more fun and yumminess in your life. On the flip side, because there's always a flip side, have you been too indulgent? Giving away more than you should of your sweetness and not getting the delicious energy you've put in return? Or perhaps you're overindulging physically and having more sugar and carbs than your body wants in order to be at its optimum healthy levels. This is your sign to check in with yourself to find the balance. You deserve to be good to yourself. Have that piece of chocolate, take that chance, live a little and indulge. If pulling back is necessary, chances are by doing so, you'll indulge in much more emotional and mental stability as well. Have some chocolate in your life today and allow playtime to take more center stage in all that you do. Have fun. Now for the practical gifts of chocolate, a few of the reasons why chocolate is so good. In its raw cacao or organic varieties, they are loaded with healthy benefits for your body. Eat dark chocolate to sweeten up your brain function, memory, hair growth, and it is loaded with antioxidants to do their best work. I will tell you, after reading that book, it doesn't even scratch the surface of the benefits of cacao. So for me, this is all about, okay, balance between your work and play, planted places, and take a little time out and have some time and have fun with this. So, and on the emotional level, in terms of, you know, what that says to us, I think, is that sometimes, you know, when we work with, that work is an indulgence of a sort. And so that's really where we have to look at emotionally where we are with what we're doing, and to maybe take a little step back during the holidays, you guys, and really take a good look at where you started, where you are now, your dreams of where you want to be, because dreaming, and that is really the indulgence in order for you to allow the universe to come in and say things to you that, you know, you have your plans. And as we all know, where you think you want to go may not be where you end up. But to allow that indulgence to, and this is how we use the cards, is say, okay, here's a great little thing for, let's say, your group. Is you all sit down, you have a little piece of chocolate, and then you indulge in a brainstorming session, saying, okay, universe, tell us, where are we going? Here's where we are. This is what we see. These are our dreams. And indulge yourself in that to open up whatever else may come through at a time like that. So, in utilizing that food to bring in that energy into that session that you could possibly have, or on your own, same thing. You take that beautiful piece of, if you get really beautiful chocolate, and if your mindset is open and you sit down almost ritualistically, like you're having wine now, it's the same thing. You do the same thing with the wine. This becomes some of our beautiful rituals to open us up, to get out of our own way, to allow all of the stuff that you've been working on to synthesize out there with your people, with how it's going, but then for the unknown, unseen world to meet it. And for then the truths that need to come in for whatever shifts, because it's always, You know, life is not stagnant. You watch plants grow. They're not the same tomorrow as they were today. So it's just the same metaphor for our life and how we live. So this is where we are today. How do we open up ourselves to get out of the way and let other things and knowledge come through to us that can help direct us? So emotionally, because this is the emotional card for the emotional body, is to really get out of the way emotionally, because look, this is your baby. The plants are all of your babies, and to get out of the way of trying to, you know, we're trying to control it. We're trying to learn how these plants, like, how can I do my best job with these plants so they'll grow? And I've got all these elemental factors coming in with its weather and dryness. And how do I know if the plant has enough water? Blah, blah, blah. Get out of the way. Emotionally get out of the way. Christy will give you the information you need. You get out of the way, and then look at the plants. Try to go someplace different to allow other kinds of information to come into you to help guide you. So that's that card. Anybody have any questions about that? No? Okay. So the next card.
Robin, I
Yeah,
got
go ahead.
I wrote it in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, you're busy. You're so busy. I love it, talking to us about it. And you need to be there in your space. Chocolate. Okay, I'm so glad you picked that. What is the percentage? Like when you said the dark chocolate, I'm like, and I'm busy like being so scientific. What percentage of dark chocolate to get the benefits? Is there a certain percentage you need? Like, do you need it above 70%? Like, what's the specific there? Because I would love that.
Okay. Okay, I think the important factor is not so much the percentage. The more important, and I'm going to go grab this package, so just hang on one second.
I am
so cool. We're recording, right? We're recording. I just want to make sure we're recording when Chris asked the
totally
percentage.
recording. We're totally
What is the percentage of chocolate?
I'm sorry. I'm not. You guys,
so awesome.
You have to see in the comments. I'm not kidding. We want to get a cat for Christmas. I'm not totally absorbing this.
You want to get what?
We want to get a cat for Christmas because my youngest son really wants one. And when Robin said, I'm hugely allergic, my husband Kevin, hugely allergic to chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking notes like chocolate. Okay, we're gonna
cat. Kevin's allergic to the cat.
Kevin's completely allergic to cats. And I'm like, this is why I'm like, what percentage I need to get this into my house so we can have our cat? Sorry.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get a cat.
Yes, I am.
So this is this particular brand, and it's called Sacred Chocolate. And do you guys know David Wolf? Have you ever heard of David Wolf? He's like the superfoods guy, right?
Yes.
I believe. Yes, he's very well known in the alternative world. He's been around for.
The avocado guys. Avocado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Wolf. Well, I believe he has an interest or is part owner in this company. So that's why this stuff is so pure. In here can you hear me?
Oh, Robin, hold it up again because I wanted to write it down. It was a little blurry. Just right there.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can send it out.
Perfect.
I'll send all the info.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe a little blog, little thing for you.
Sure.
But what this is, the real key here is it's unroasted cacao. And it's raw cacao butter. And it is unroasted whole cacao beans with the skins. So this isn't the kind of chocolate, and I'll show you what, these are little tiny hearts. So I take 2 of these 3 times a day. Now I'm not around cats right now, so I don't, but because of this book I read about chocolate, I mean, it's great for inflammation, for arthritis, for sugar problems, for
What is the name of the chocolate book? What's the name of the chocolate book?
I'll get it for you. I'll have to get it for you because
We'll post all that.
But this is what they look like. They're little hearts.
Yummy.
And they don't taste, well, that's the thing. I like the taste of them, but this isn't the kind of thing that you're going to sit down and you're going to say, oh my God, I have to eat this whole bag. It's not, this is what I consider medicinal chocolate. Okay. So that's, and I swear to God, my allergies were gone. Like it was so fast.
Where's it made?
It was
Where's it made? Where's it made, Robin? Where's it made?
This is made in, let's see, it's Sacred Chocolate. I don't know if that's where the plant is, but they're in Nevada, California.
Okay. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Now, can we put it in coffee? So in other words, I'm sorry, I'm driven to get cats here in my house because my kids want them so bad. So like if I got the chocolate and I put it in Kevin's coffee every morning, like would that help? Would it still work?
So because the whole key in this, if you notice, this is unroasted.
Got it. Okay.
It's unroasted, no heat.
Okay.
She said medicinal chocolate. Remember.
This is, yeah, I mean, this is like, I'm not going to sit down and say, oh, I'm in the mood for a piece of chocolate. No, this is like, I'm taking this for my health. It's a
I want to
superfood.
have a cat in my house. Chocolate.
I don't know, it's certainly worth the, it's not cheap, but I got to tell you, it worked. And you have no idea how bad I used to react to cats. So just saying, for whatever it's worth.
Oh, we're having it. We're having it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. And so that's why I think it's a great, and what we'll do is, we'll talk about it, but I think it would be really cool to put together to do a class, a dessert class, and we'll make these chocolate bars, energy bars. They're great. Okay, so that's on the emotion.
Yeah, let's get out of the emotions. Let's get on to something else. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get on. The next one is the on the mental level, because emotions are different than the mental. Emotions are related to the heart chakra, the mental up here. So in the mental, actually, they say that our brain is our second stomach, right? They're saying it's our second gut. So, that's, and the gut and the brain are interrelated. I mean, all of us are interrelated, but there's a real correlation. So this is going to be on the mental level. So the card that we just pulled, oh my God, this is great. Because this is for planted places. You're going to love this. This is Soursop, but the card, it's miracles. So, you guys behind Planted Places.
That is so good. It is so good.
And Angela, and the reason this, I'll tell you what came to me really fast with this, why it just made me crazy pulling this card for this. And I'll tell you why, because, obviously we all know we're living through very unprecedented times, right? And it is pushing us all to our limits in many ways. And I don't even think we really fully comprehend the fallout. But here's the thing, we can't live without food. And everybody's home. We're not getting through this so quickly. I think we're still in COVID for a while. And if anything, I think that the miracle that's going to come out of this is so relevant. What you're doing with Planted Places, the timing of it with this could not be more perfect, because I think you might really, that the miracle about it could be the fact that people are home, kids, things to do. What better way to introduce this at this time right now to get this going? Because if people we're not so much at home and not able to do all the socializing, you're up against a different thing, because then you're competing with all the other activities. Right now, people are limited. They're so limited in their activities that this could potentially really, if there's a way we can really get this out there, hey guys, this is the perfect time. Give this as a gift. Start doing it little by little. Just try it. See how it impacts your family and your kids. You know, I think the timing is perfect. And I think that, you know, that's so. Now I'm going to read to you what the book says about Soursop.
Love you. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. Thank you.
No, I you know, look at, if it were any other, I think that there's something here. I think that, and I think the timing is perfect. So however we can work this to get the word out, I think people will have a lot of fun with this. And not only that, because of what we are starting to understand about us as energy beings, and our impact on that plant that we grow, and then that impact when we ingest it in our body, you know, we're just starting to really understand the full impact of that. And those people who start to go down this road, that's what they're in for. They're in for something that's really in time will change their health and their life and their family life.
I love this. I love this. I feel I get so much awesome feedback from people saying we're bringing them joy right now. And I mean, this is what it's all about. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's, you know, that's why I'm so happy to be part of this. I love what you're doing. Okay, so let's talk about, on the mental level, what it says about Soursop and miracles. Have you been praying for a miracle? And I'm going to direct this to you guys at Planted Places, because I know you're going to take any miracle you can get right now to get this really off the ground. Remember, you are one yourself. So I think that sounds very trite and very simple, but honestly, I think it's probably one of the most profound things that they could say about this, because if it all does start with us, and we know if let's say the new science says that our thoughts create our reality, let's just take that as a possibility. It's a possibility that could be a truth. That could be an actual scientific truth, that what we think could potentially, now timing, because we know from quantum physics, we know that time is very different than how we physically perceive it, right? So the timing might be different, but the real impact is it starts in the thought process, in the mental realm. So, and if we have the ability through our mental realm to affect our physical reality in time, whatever that time frame, we don't have control over some things, and time is one of them. But we certainly do have we certainly do have the control over the thought that we put out there. And it's not just a thought. So I want to change your idea about a thought. A thought, it's not about just having a certain thought. It's about a vision, an inner vision. And this is really where I direct this to Christy, because this is her baby, and to everybody else who is working with her in this company to envision, because you have to, it's not just a mental thought. It's a mental thought that then you feel through every fiber of your being to your core, that is, you can almost taste it, you can almost touch it, you can feel it, it's not the same as thinking about something. That's not the process. So when you get this vision of in such clarity, And I can tell you in my own life, because I've been playing with this for years, if I don't have that vision and I can't get that kind of clarity, that's not just the thought, but it's something that, and it's really hard to put the right words to what this is, but those of you who have experienced it, I think you understand what I'm talking about. When it's so clear, things can manifest at the speed of light. That's how fast things could manifest. And that
Get in
is
flow.
what,
We have to get in flow, Robin. Get us in flow.
so part of getting in flow is getting out of the way. And that's a hard thing to do, because what do I mean by that? It's we have a lot of attachments. There's a lot attached to planted places to become whatever you want this to become. So it's this balance, this beautiful balance of vision and the ability to let go, to put that vision, to feel it, to see it, to know, you know so well what this is going to be, and then you let it go. And you get out of the way of manipulating it, of trying to control it to the nth degree that we always try to do, because trust me, I mean, you're not doing this if you're not an A-type, so got news for you, you know, it's going to be the hardest for you guys to let go. So it's just that's just the way it is. But that's okay, because if that vision is so clear and you hold on to that vision, but you let go, you put it out there and you let it go with love, and you have a certain element of trust in a very crazy world that we live in, but you have to find that place deep inside yourself. If you can do that, then the possibility for it to actually really manifest is that much stronger. And I've seen it. And I've seen where if I have no vision and I can't, and I know it's like you can't see the forest or the trees. You can't, like, what is this going to be? What, if you can't see it, you can't see it. You can't push it. You just have to say, okay, you know what? I accept that. I can't see it right now. And open the door inside yourself saying, please help me. I need to see this. What am I not seeing here? Let me get out of my own way. I'm not going to be attached to an outcome, but yet I'm going to try. I'm asking for the right vision, and I'm going to hold to what the vision comes in. And then you follow it up with the right action, which you're all doing, is working this business. So, all right, so let's get beyond that. So the first thing is to remember you are the miracle yourself, and start with that, because you've got to feel that somehow. You've got to feel that, especially for you, Christy, this is a divine vision that you've had, that for whatever it is that drove you to do this. But the miracle starts with your own being. So, and the appreciation of that. Soursop comes in to say that your prayers are being answered. Miracles are happening all around you. And can you actually see them? Can you feel them? And if you don't, could you be missing the signs? And I think that that's really, even though it sounds crazy the way they put it, but I think that that's there's so much truth in that, because miracles, and this is the real key, one of the keys I think in life, is that it's very easy every day. We're constantly putting out fires, right? When you have a business, that's what it is. It's one fire after another, right? But in the midst of that fire, and especially when we talk about good practices and habits, which is very much what, you know, you guys are also all about. One of those habits is, before you even get going in your day, you stop and you read first about, okay, what did we accomplish so far? How, and to appreciate the little miracles that actually are there that you may miss because you're so caught up in fighting the fires. So you have to remember where you were, where you're coming from, where you are, and see those little steps, those little miracles that build up one by one in the midst of putting out all the fires, so that then you can keep going, because that will help sustain you. So to see the signs and not miss the little miracle signs that are there, that are so easy to overlook. Sometimes the very miracle you've been waiting for is right under your nose. And again, that goes right into getting out of the way, because you're so involved in making something happen. You've got to take a little bit of time to just get out of the way and try to see it from a different point of view. Miracles will show up in many forms. Don't get locked into one particular outcome, as Spirit may surprise you with how the miracles appear. So give yourself permission to allow and receive miracles. It's your divine heritage. So basically, you want to pair that up with asking for clarity, so that your request for whatever you do envision and what you do want to see manifest, you want that out there clear to the energy field, but yet still open to receive. Okay, maybe it is going to be something different. Maybe you envision this to be what it is now, but Christy, you don't know what this could turn into. And you have to be open to that. You have to be open to all kinds of great possibilities. And the fact that you picked this card is just, that's just such a reinforcement to me that you guys are certainly on the right path with this. So the practical gifts of Soursop. Soursop is abundant in the Caribbean and Mexico. It has been used medicinally for centuries. It's also known as graviola. It is a super powerful healer loaded with vitamin C and fiber, and its leaves can be made into a powerful tea. Soursop kills parasites that cause stomach ailments, and it is used for its sedative qualities and pain relief. So, all right. So that's little miracles on the mental realm. So I think that's a great card for that. I really do. I think that the next time, here's what you do. Next meeting, you're going to have a piece of chocolate, and you're going to think about you're going to say thank you for all the miracles you've had so far, and then open up to, okay, what's our vision? How far have we come? Where are we going? Everybody gets and has that visualization together, and put that power and energy behind it so it can manifest. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next one. It's the physical level. Okay. Okay, so guess what we picked? Cucumbers. And cucumbers are balance. And I think this is very appropriate that we're dealing, really, when you think of this is crazy. Okay, this card is, what color is in this? This is all green. What is planted places? It's all green, it's plants. How perfect, because this is on the physical level. So you guys are manifesting, you're right on point. This card is so on point because this is the physical manifestation of planted places, and it's green. And it's a lot of them. So what this card also, the way that I've been taught to read these cards, this isn't just one cucumber, and they did this on purpose when they developed this deck. So this is a group of cucumbers. Okay, so it's not only all the different plants that you're planting and going to be growing, But it's all the different people that are going to come together that are going to be part of this. So this is not an individual endeavor. This is a group. And to me, this is just on the physical level. It's just such a powerful card because it's a group. This is very definitely, you're building a community, you're building a team of people to go forth to bring this into the physical world. And dealing with a very physical thing, because plants are physical beings. They're energy beings within themselves. So, you know, I think that's now, the word that's attached to this is balance. So before I talk about it, I'm going to read you from the book what they say about cucumbers. So, and the other fun thing that we do with the readings, so this is just so you know, a couple of things, because there's many ways to do readings. People can create recipes from the cards that they pull individually. We can then say, okay, how if maybe I need to get more chocolate in my diet, maybe I need to eat more cucumbers to help things manifest in the physical realm. And so if you then say, okay, I'm going to have a cucumber, I'm going to consciously put that cucumber in my salad or just grab one because I'm going to be wanting things to manifest in the physical world, if this is from the reading on the physical aspect, but also from what the card says, which this one is about balance. So let's see what they say about it, and then I'll finish up with what I have to say about it. Okay, cucumbers. Let's get to cucumbers. I think it's perfect. How perfect. And this is what always happens with these readings. I have to tell you, it's just, this is the magic. We all are amazed. Those of us who do the readings, it's just never ceases to amaze us that the cards that get pulled are perfect. Okay. What is seeking balance within your being right now? Is it self-care, relationships, work, or just life in general? Sometimes finding a life balance can be very challenging. If you give your all to work, your relationships suffer. If you give all to your relationships, sometimes you may lose sight of yourself. So the secret to finding balance is to not look for it in the everyday mundane things. The real secret is that when you are balanced within yourself via your spiritual practice and take time for self-care, then there is nothing that can be out of balance. Well, I think that's a pretty strong statement. I think a pretty brilliant one, actually. Because, and the interesting part that we're going to see, because the next card is going to be the spiritual card. So I think in relation to the fact that we got the balance card on the physical level, I think there's going to be something that's going to come to light about the balance. And they're saying that it has to actually start on the spiritual level. And that and part of that is with your practices and your habits, which Christy talks about a lot, in making this part of our life habit. And then our interaction with these plants, there's going to be a balance that's going to naturally happen. And the food, especially people who start to do this with growing their own food, what they're going to get out of that is going to be exponential in terms of how they feel on every level. It is going to affect them. When you see something vibrant that you poured your love into, that is growing, that is, in a way, it's just one more aspect of taking care of ourselves the same way. And so it starts with ourselves, it starts with our own spirit, but then it affects from there, you can't help but be more in balance. So yeah, I think balance is, and cucumbers are, Cucumbers are amazing. By the way, cucumbers are one of the most amazing plants on the planet as well. To me, they're a superfood because they're so alkalizing, and they're just so incredible for our blood, and the water in them is phenomenal. So,
Can I ask you a cucumber question?
yes, ma'am.
So I put cucumber in my water all the time. Is that all? Is that enough? Is that good enough?
So let me, I'm going to answer this two ways. When we talk about, is it enough health-wise? We don't even know. Angela, I can't give you an honest, the science is just beginning to be discovered about really what happens with food in us. Okay. So, and it's our interaction with that. So here's the other thing. You put cucumber in water. So water, I think, has anybody in this group, do you know the power and what happens with water?
You have to talk to Liz. Liz is a water girl. She will talk to you about the power of the water. I'm going to get the water thing. I know all about the water.
But here's the thing. Okay. And this is where I say none of us have, I don't want anyone to be fanatical or crazy about this thing. I want people to be free of the fanaticism around food and everything. We are at the most confusing time in our lives regarding food. Everybody's confused.
You know, I've been vegan for over 10 years, right? Like I've been at this on my own food journey for so long. It's such a real, it's powerful emotionally. It's powerful. I mean, it is one of the most, in all the research I've done and all the jobs I've ever done, it's like the thing that really people get crazy about. They get crazy about their rituals around food. They get crazy about their, whatever that emotional attachment is to food. It's the craziest thing.
Right. But think about it. We have to be like that because we can't live. We physically will not live.
Your life
So
source.
It's at a core level that we don't really fully understand yet. I feel it. I feel that I may not know all the science because the scientists are just beginning to understand it. So I don't. The only thing I do understand is that I observe food and plants in it doesn't even matter if it's something I consume. If you are an observant person and you observe our natural world, which is there's trees everywhere, there's grass everywhere, there's plants everywhere. You cannot not interact with plants, but we don't do it consciously. And so the little bits that we're beginning to understand about this planet Earth and the plants that inhabit this planet with us and the animal life, because that's part of it as well, this is very powerful stuff. And we're just starting to understand it. And we can't live without it. So we have so many, this is the most complex issue, I think, period. Because look, and we talked about this the other day, I said, well, there's only two issues in life. It's sex and food, right? Well, sex is pretty, we've got that down because we do it naturally. It's part of who we are. But the plant thing and this whole food thing has gotten really crazy because we are talking about different people from all over the planet, different cultures in their relationship to food, how they think about food, what they know about food. So it becomes so complex. I want to take it out of that place. I want to take it out of the science and I want to say, okay, guys, what's the bottom line? Do you want to eat something that tastes good or do you want to eat something that doesn't taste good? That's number one, because if it doesn't taste good, nobody's going to do anything. They're going to just discard it. Okay. And my focus is the plant kingdom. So I want to make sure that I make that stuff taste really good. And I don't then I don't have to worry about anything else. So if you say to me, is it better to have more cucumber in this water, or is that enough for me? Well, here's what I say to you. If you start to, and I really believe this is the journey we're all going to start to go on with Planted Places, is you're going to start growing this stuff, and you're going to start to tune in to that plant, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to look at my water, I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to ask myself, is that enough for me? Do I think it's enough? And I will tell you, if you open yourself up, those answers are going to come in intuitively to you, and you're going to know. You're just going to intuitively know that's enough. I don't need to put any more. And if it's in my water today, maybe I won't have any, and tomorrow I'll have it in my salad.
What's our fourth card?
Okay, fourth card is, oh, this is perfect. Well, hold on, because I just want to finish, before we get to the fourth card, I just want to finish reading you what they say about cucumbers in balance, okay? Okay, so let's see. All right, so take a deep breath and affirm, balance is my natural state of being, and I am in a balanced state of perfection. So that is, and can I find my way back to my center? Because you got to start at the center of your own being. So, and what is in the cucumber? When it comes to a food that creates a balanced pH, look no further than cucumbers. Filled with a high mineral content, it's best to eat them on an empty stomach to enjoy their health benefits. They are loaded with silica. Eat cucumbers for greater bone density, which helps those suffering from osteoporosis. Cucumbers are refreshing, and you may find them floating in your drinking in your water at a local spa. It's filled with vitamin K, which is good for blood clotting. They make the perfect snack because they're so low in calories. So anyway, that's that. So the next card.
Okay, wait, I have to say several quick about cucumbers. So
Yeah.
on your last thought there about like they're low in calories. So I always do, instead of crackers, you know, if I'm having like a little appetizer thing, I do cucumbers instead of crackers. You know, like little cream cheese, little like, you know, smoked salmon, but and then you've got
Hummus.
yes,
Yeah.
hummus, perfect, exactly. It's like it should be cracker instead of crackers, you have cucumbers.
Little cucumber. Because
Yeah.
it's just a vehicle, the cracker, right? It's just a
yeah.
vehicle.
It's a vehicle, absolutely. And the cucumber is perfect for that. I mean, you know, and then if you're in the plant world and you want to do other things, the things that I do little I call them bites because I love bites. And just one bite. So I will take it, I'll make the most amazing nut, either nut cheese or a nut pate.
Okay, you
And-
all have to understand Robin is the size of a bite. She is like a bite. And if you've gone and looked at her artwork, it's like a bite. I mean, her artwork is so exquisite, I can't even, but it's like the tiniest things. And Robin is the tiniest thing. So it's so funny that you like a bite because that, of course, you like a because you are a bite. You are a bite.
I love bites because, you know, and I love little dishes of things. So I don't like to sit down to a massive plate. I love little bits and pieces. And then you learn how to balance your meal. And especially in the plant world, you know, if you're heading toward, I'm not saying you have to be vegetarian by any means, but if you're going more predominantly that, and you just change the balance of what you're eating, the plant kingdom becomes a greater part of your diet. And you've got to know how to make certain things within that realm. And one of them is using nuts. I mean, it's just, and the cucumbers, your vegetables are the perfect carriers, whether it's your collard greens, I mean, the wraps you can make. I mean, it's just so endless, the fun. But let's get back to now the spiritual realm, because that's the last realm. We've got
It's just us now, right? There's like, it's just family. Like I think the outside girl left, so it's just family now. You got us.
great.
Family.
This is the last card on the spiritual realm is lemons. Lemons. I love it. I
Weird.
love this card. And it's alchemy is the word. How great is that? I know, Christine, just I saw the face. I mean, how perfect is, wait till I read to you about alchemy. And again, look at how beautiful. I mean, and that's really, this is how we read the interrelationship of these cards, where, you know, here we cucumbers, which is super alkalizing. And now look what you got to pull. And so we basically have gone through, we got chocolate, which is a superfood. We've got soursop again, which is an amazing plant. And that's miracles. Now we have balance. And now the final card reading is alchemy, and how alkalizing you've got, you know. And then look at this, this is the other correlation that we read. We have the sun, we have the yellow color, right, of the lemons, the sunshine to help us grow. It's the green. So, I mean, that is just perfect. It's perfect. So let me read to you about lemons. I love it. It just makes me laugh. I can't help it. Okay. So as the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. As in life, we get ourselves into situations that no longer serve us, and we find ourselves stuck. Now this is on the spiritual realm, guys, for Planted Places. Okay, so as in life, we get ourselves in situations that no longer serve us and we find ourselves stuck. We inwardly know we need to move on, but it's easier said than done. Lemons indicate that now is a good time to make a change for the better. Let go of the old and look at the situation from a different perspective. Maybe you just truly need to add a little sweetness to what's occurring in your world, and let spirit unfold the next steps for you in perfect and delicious timing in alchemy. All elements need to be in place. Lemons also mean to hold your position until all the elements are made clearer and you have a better course of action in moving ahead.